Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about a cornucopia of topics on a variety of spiritual, psychological, emotional connectives, and we've got over 550 of those available for your listening pleasure. Hopefully, something that's of benefit to you. Please feel free to reach out if you're interested in connecting on a deeper level. Also, feel free to reach out if you'd like coaching. You can do that through Twitter or through the About Me section on this YouTube page. And there's information there on how to get to my webpage. Go from there. In any event, today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, and that's sabotaging habits, or habits that lead you to self-sabotage. So the first is no self-belief. Look, if you don't believe that you're capable of changing something, you will fall to the level of your belief. In other words, you will fall to whatever you believe to be true. From a universal attraction standpoint, the universe aligns to bring us circumstances that we believe to be true. So, where we believe creates our energy. Our energy's alignment creates our circumstances, and ultimately, everything, at least partially, has 50% to do with us. So, your level of self belief is super important in changing things. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to believe, for example, that everything's going to go your way, but positive change is possible is something that you have to believe for the motion of change to begin. If you don't at least have that, at the very least, you're going to be struggling for quite a bit of time. And I've got to grab my phone, so we'll go there. And then I will be back to complete this and continue to kind of decompress with you. In any event, stay put. And I mean, again, we're kind of looking at ways to get yourself to the best possible place in the quickest way possible. Another self-sabotage aspect is lack of taking care of yourself. Whether that's making time to decompress after a long day, whether that's physically not taking care of yourself, not showering, not shaving, not doing what you need to do that way, changing clothes and all that, or whether it's literally not giving yourself time to process your emotions at all. In other words, almost going into a robotic, cyborg type mode. That's not, going to lead you in anywhere but a self-sabotaging habit. The next thing in there is if you're owned by your own emotions. So, emotions are indicators, and I've said that probably at this point hundreds of times on this channel, but emotions are indicators. They are not the place from which you should make long-term decisions or decisions that have potential of long-term or even medium-term effects. So if you're owned by your emotions to the point where they are what allows you or causes you to make a series of and or decisions in general, that's self-sabotage, because most emotions from the majority of people lean towards being at the very least pessimistic for the majority of individuals. Now, that's not to say the person is always going to be pessimistic, but because the brain is wired towards self-protection as its main function, when we look at a situation for the first time, unless we haven't been through a great deal of difficulty in life, and most of us have been through more difficulty than we want. Unless we haven't been through that difficulty, the nature is what can go wrong comes into our mindset. So when you are being self-protective, or when the levels of oxytocin and positive hormones run through and you get overly positive, making decisions from a heightened emotional state on either side of that spectrum is most often, let's say 90-95% of the time, not a good idea. The next thing there is being quick to judge. People who have a judgmental nature usually come from a very rigid compass of what their definition of right and wrong is. The problem with this is being quick to judge can often lead a person to not having the information to be able to make a well-informed, balanced decision. Now, this is problematic for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that when we make a non-will informed judgmental decision, what we're really doing is blocking ourselves off from virtually any chance of things changing for the better in the long term. And we also close off relationships that could be beneficial if we were more neutral or open minded. Neutral minded being, hey, there are things I haven't considered, I don't know the whole situation. Open minded being, I don't understand how a person is processing this, therefore I can't judge them. But being quick to judge is self sabotage. Now, discern, this is right for me, this is wrong for me, is different than judgment, because this is right for me but may not be right for another person is the absence of judgment. When we place the control mechanism of judgment into something, there are many challenges. The next thing is overthinking. So obviously, one has to be able to follow their gut intuition at some level. Intuition and emotion are separate. Intuition is a gut, for lack of a better term, feeling, although it's more just a gut knowing and internal knowing, whereas emotions can take us down a roller coaster of linking thoughts that ultimately lead us to more self sabotage. On the other side of that, though, when a person does not have a proper relationship with their ability to trust their intuition, overthinking, rethinking, and rumination becomes the most common end result. The problem with this is one can't be in a place of emotional empowerment and or certainty or surety if they are in that space of being. The next thing is controlling everything. So the habit to micromanage is a form of self-sabotage because, number one, you're going to deplete your energetic resources quicker when you're micromanaging something. Also, people are going to be more likely to have a negative view of you when you micromanage because they're going to be insulted by the insinuation that they can't make their own decisions. So therefore, you're hindering not only your ability to continue doing what you're doing long term, but the image that people have of you as it relates to your willingness to trust in their ability to make their own decisions and maintain their autonomy. The last one in this particular audio is the opposite, which is being controlled, allowing yourself to be controlled by others. This is self-sabotage because you will heighten the chances that your self-esteem falls to levels where it takes weeks, months, or years to get back to a healthy place. That's the first problem. The second problem is that ultimately, at the end of the day, if you allow others to control you, your own autonomy gets lost. Therefore, your drive, personally, professionally, and emotionally, can often get lost too. Hopefully, this is helpful. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.